up running into mutual fund salespeople at the front of every bank that you go and operate. So they might put you in something that you don't like, but you don't have a way to contest that. But even worse than that, there are people who are targeting you because they know you might have some savings from home and say, hey, listen, I'll do this quick cash flip. We'll make this money and I've got this Bitcoin to trade, or they'll come to you. And if you end up putting yourself in a position where you default, it takes about 6 years before a default can fall off your credit score. So in those 6 years, you might not be able to get the best rates. You might not be able to get a house. You might not be able to get a decent apartment. Even home insurance sometimes is affected by a default or an incident of bankruptcy. So it's very important that you don't get involved in financial schemes. Build slowly and avoid bankruptcy and what they call consumer proposal at any point. At any point. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I was going to mention two things, especially when, God forbid, you fall into these traps and you have high interest debts and you want to find a way to kind of pay it off quickly. Because again, the sooner you can pay it off, the sooner that six years timeline starts, right? Yeah. And you're able to like get it out of the way. So one of the things, and you might be familiar with Dave Ramsey. It's not my favorite person, but I'm familiar with him.
Yes, Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave, yes, Uncle Dave, who's always like yelling at people. But he talks about the snowball method of like debt repayment. And I find for when we talk of like community economic development, like these are ways that you can actually, help individual members of communities to get rid of their debt through the snowball method. But that only happens more effectively, in my opinion, when you do it as a community. So Dave Ramsey suggests that if I have debt, I should pay off my highest interest debt first and get it out of the way, which is good. But then if I have debt that's like one is $5,000, another is $2,000, it will still take me a long time to pay the $5,000 debt. Whereas when you're doing, initiatives and community-based models of finance like the rotating savings or Susus or Ajos, whatever you call it, you're able to achieve those financial goals earlier and sooner because then you have a community of people who come together, pool funds. And if I'm the first to receive my payout, I can use that payout to get rid of the 5K debt and then focus on the next thing. So having heard this and in your own experience as well, what are some tools that people can use for their financial wellness to either track their wellness, track their scores, kind of explore different investments and savings options?
Okay, that's a great question. And Dave Ramsey, very polarizing conversation because the man's very opinionated and I think his heart is in the right place. I hesitate to say when you have a debt load that is weighing on your heart, you should focus on investment because there are 4 budgeting techniques that you can use to make sure you bring your spending back into your means. And once you do that, then you can choose between the snowball method or refinancing or negotiating to make sure that you're handling the debt. But if you're working the debt before you work the lifestyle, it's like putting water in a bucket with holes in it. Ooh. So start with bringing your lifestyle back into your means and then pick a debt repayment system that you can do. The community element of it, other than the fact that it brings like a united, we are stronger kind of take to it, that it allows you to propel yourself forward. If you're still living above your means, you can get benefits from the community as part of education and even that cash infusion every once in a while when it's your turn. But if you can get your lifestyle back into your means, then every time it's your turn to receive the cash infusion, it's time then to make investments. And when it's time for investments, if you're not looking for down payment, you're looking to participate in markets. We are lucky to be in Canada. We have access to some of the best financial markets in the world, being next to the US, and you can buy things from the US. They are tax advantaged accounts that you should be using, your tax-free savings, your RSPs. Now there's a first home savings account that whenever you contribute, you get some tax relief back. And then you can grow tax-free. Once you get there where you have this cash to invest because you've put your life inside your means, you have a little bit extra, you have paid down your high interest debt. And if you have interest that is too high, go to the bank and negotiate. Some people who carry
so you can actually negotiate. I didn't know that.
You can take your credit card from 21% to like 13.
Okay, can you give us like a script of like how we go to the bank and negotiate that?
I will call them and say, due to hardship, I would like to reduce it. And they will say, we will look into it. It's really not that complicated. You don't have to write a grant request.
Yeah.
There's no one who is interested in you failing financially. You are actually more profitable near failure to most of financial institutions. You're not profitable when you're doing the greatest, which is where I would like to take people as far as like the journey to financial wellness. If you do the greatest, you pay the least amount of fees. Canada at $694 a month. A year. Canadians pay the highest banking fees in the world, not second, first. So the banks are interested in you staying a customer. You can use that to get the best deals and the best rates, short of leaving them. At some point, yes, you can make a decision to leave them. There are newer banks like Neobank and Coho and other places that are not charging fees that will welcome you with open arms. But if you don't want to leave the main big five, at least go negotiate. Pay less on your credit card. Pay less on your accounts. Pay less on your investments.
And we were having a conversation, JP, I think it was yesterday or the day before, on how sometimes we feel like, these institutions and people are doing us a favor. So we don't even like come armed to like negotiate or like ask the right questions. And this reminds me of that. It's like, I had no idea. And like, I do a lot of research. I feel like I know stuff, but I had no idea that I could negotiate this.
Absolutely. And if it was at home, I know you would negotiate because the culture at home is negotiation.
Negotiation, yes. This is amazing. In any case, I know we're running out of time.
Okay.
I know we're going to want to have you back again, but also that our lovely audience will have so many questions around a lot of the insights that you've shared, but especially around the financial wellness score. So let us know where can they find you? What's your social media handles? What's the website that they can go to access the financial wellness quiz?
Amazing. Okay, so thank you so much for having me. And I think I was supposed to give 3 tips that you can use. So I'll say, just keep your life inside your means, educate yourself, and then just love your loved ones.
Love your loved ones. That's a good one.
You can find me at Strivers After 5 on all social media, socials. And that's Strivers After 5 in one. 5 is the letter 5. And you can find me on my LinkedIn. I post a lot on LinkedIn under Jean-Paul Nyereka, which is my original name. I had to change it to John.
Do you speak French?
Please do not do this to me.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I don't speak French either.
I have a French name, though. I have a French name. That's all I got from it.
I see.
I know merci and bonjour.
Oui. Comment ça va? Comme ci, comme ça.
Yeah, so reach out to me. Once you complete the financial wellness course, financial wellness score, you have a link to book me for 30 minutes to discuss it. So finish it. It takes about 11 minutes. Book me. I'll discuss the score with you. That whole part is not paid. That's just me working for the community. And eventually we'll get all the advisors doing it before they talk any further.
Absolutely. And so for the financial wellness score, the website would be?
So the website will be linked on all my socials. All my socials go directly. Does not have a direct website. But if you type in financial wellness score, it's the only in Google. It will be the only one that comes up.
Amazing. JP, thank you so much for coming. This has been very insightful. I had so much fun doing my financial therapy with the financial wellness score. So thank you for that. And to our lovely guests watching from at home, listening from your cars or wherever you are, thank you for joining us for yet another exciting and insightful podcast episode. And I look forward to hearing your response to the financial wellness score once you take it. Are you financially healthy or do you need some financial exercises? Let us know in the comments. Let us know what stood out to you from this conversation. And follow, like, subscribe, and we'll look forward to welcoming you next time. I'm your host, Justina Kanza. Have a great one.